So the other style we commonly encounter with the frame drum is what we call the lap style playing position, where you actually rest the drum across your legs so that both hands are free to manipulate the sounds and the rhythm. So it gives you just a greater level of access and versatility to explore different rhythmic combinations. So you can do it with, again, the same style. This is a tar style, but you can quickly convert it to a lap style playing position by setting it on your non-dominant leg and using your non-dominant hand to stabilize it from the top and dropping your elbow behind it so that the weight of the elbow moving down helps to stabilize the drum so it's not moving all over on your leg. So we have the same vocabulary of sounds as with the tar. We have dum, we have tak, we have ka, and we have cha. There's actually 3 styles of dum within this playing tradition, so I would recommend that you try them all, and some will come a little more easily than others, so it gives you a place to start with, and then you have something you can continue to grow with and work on with the instrument. Open dum would involve using the entire surface area of your hands and playing. This creates a fairly large and loud sound. So it's in the same proximity as you would play, for example, on the djembe when you play open tone. Your knuckles are along the rim and your hand moves in, and you use a little bit of the hinge and also a combination of the entire arm to get that stroke, and you want to be bouncing off to create an open resonant tone. Dum. Another dum that I like, and it's quite simple to learn and has a wonderfully soft, subtle quality, is dum with the fingertips. So you can try it with any combination. Some people will play just with the first finger, where they strike and bounce off. So you're making a little bit of a tapping motion onto the drum and bouncing off. Or the combination of dum with the 2 middle fingers. Again, bouncing off to create the open sound. And as you explore dum, you're looking for what we call the sweet spot on your drum. If you're in the very center, get a very flat, non-resonant sound with no good low fundamental. This is the acoustical node of the drum here, so you lose the depth of tone. And so a good way to find it is just to work from the inside out and listen to the sound as it changes. Find you move progressively towards a richer tone, and then it begins to diminish as you get further towards the rim. So you just use your ear as your guide, but roughly speaking, it's somewhere about halfway between the center and the edge. Some people will say it's about 1/3 of the way in. So it's within this area, and the rest is up to your own aesthetic tastes as you listen and develop your ear for the quality of the sound that you like. So what you're essentially looking for is a very balanced tone where you get a nice fundamental and a nice spectrum of overtones up above it. As you go far to the edge, you lose your fundamental and all you hear are the upper overtones. So find your sweet spot, and then you can begin to look for it with dum with the thumb stroke. This stroke is very challenging when you're first starting out, because you really have to release the weight into the sound. And the more, again, that you stiffen up your hand, the more choked off the tone will become. It's very important also not to over-rotate with this stroke. I see a lot of beginning students will come into the drum and they'll want to rotate so that the arm and the palm turns completely over. And that's actually not what you want to do. You want to think of this being the neutral plane, and your hand doesn't rotate beyond that spot. So the vertical is your final destination, and you open slightly towards an upward facing palm. As it comes in, then it moves moves into vertical alignment with the forearm. And this is the stroke Dum. Then, of course, we have Tak, again from the other hand drumming tradition. So Tak appears in the ring finger of the dominant hand, near to the edge, right where the skin and the rim meet. So again, you can feel as if you're actually hitting the wood or whatever the collar of the instrument is right beneath the skin. And it takes a fair amount of torque. So you're rotating through the forearm and allowing it to move through that fourth finger to create the torque, to give it the volume and intensity and torque. Tak with the left hand is one of the more challenging strokes on this instrument. And it's partly related to the fact that you also have to hold and stabilize the drum while playing the sound. So again, remember the angle of your instrument is important. It should follow this vector here. It shouldn't be facing out and away from you or crowded up too close to your body. Some people have a tendency when playing the frame drum in this manner to hold it very close to your body, which will absorb a great deal of the resonance. So a student may be using great technique for Dum, but if they're holding it here, the sound of Dum will be compromised because it can't actually resonate because it's being absorbed. So make sure that the sound has a pathway in which it can move out, and that's how we help to find the angle that works the best. So Tak in the left hand, your left hand or your non-dominant hand will sit on the top, and again keep the elbow moving down and back as best as you can so it stabilizes the drum, and then you use as much torque as you can coming from this momentum in the upper hand so that your finger follows the rim to create Tak. This is Tak. And the challenge with Tak is that it feels more comfortable to play it down here. So many students will play Tak in a fashion where the finger is actually pointing towards the ground, but it doesn't access the overtone. So remember to keep Tak moving across and following the rim so that you get the higher pitched tone. Cha on here, Cha is the element for air, and aptly so, it sounds very much like the wind moving through. Cha can be created with brush strokes in the fingers. It can also be a sound where you incorporate more of the sound of your nails, or it can have a very soft and gentle quality about it. Cha. And lastly, we have Ka or Pa, the muted sound. So you can think again of just letting your hand literally be very relaxed and just dropping right onto the surface of the drum. This is the sound of the earth, a very solid tone.